So we're here to talk about the Voice and Visions tour. Super excited that you're on tour again. 4 dates last year, 31
Mhm.
cities this year.
Yeah, well, it wasn't meant to be that way because this tour has been postponed twice. We started putting this tour together 2020, and it every time a tour like that was pulled or postponed because of COVID and whatever, it's almost impossible for the tour agent to go and get the same venues because everyone was looking for the same venues. Initially everyone thought, oh, it'll be 3 months in lockdown, that'll be fine, then we'll be back to normal. All of a sudden it takes a year to find the venues, and then that's postponed. It takes another year to find the next set of venues. So yeah, the four shows that we did were four shows that weren't postponed. So I had to do all the rehearsals, all the retaining, all the stage stuff, all the lighting design, all of that, all of the prep for those four shows, which means that we're in brilliant shape now for the tours. It's all
I was
good.
going to say you're obviously well rehearsed now.
Well rehearsed. The poor Europeans got all the mistakes. So we did four shows in the UK and then did about 30 or whatever in and around Europe and Scandinavia. So we polished it up as we went along. So you guys are going to get the best.
Fantastic. Now this tour is a celebration, isn't it, of 40 years since Ultravox's Raging Eden, is that right?
Raging Eden and Quartet is the
Ah, yeah.
two follow-up albums to the Vienna album, because the tour that we did back in 2019, the 1980 tour, celebrated the Vienna album and the first Visage album, which were both done in that year. It was an amazing year for music and technology and all of that stuff. And of course, that was cut short because of COVID. So this is the logical follow-on to do the next two Ultravox albums.
Ah, fantastic. Now, we are very excited because you've clearly left the best till last. Well, penultimately, anyway, because you're coming to Rock City on the second to last night of your tour. Iconic venue.
Yeah, Rock City. I mean, I've done the acoustic room a couple of times, but I don't remember. I think the Rich Kids might have done it many, many years ago. But yeah, iconic venue. It's been around for a long time, and it's seen. If those walls could talk, there'd be many a story to tell. I'm sure from
Well,
backstage
exactly.
shenanigans.
Nirvana, Blur, Oasis, some real big names that have played there. It opened in 1980. I remember
Yep.
going there as a student when I was at Knox University, and the floor was so sticky, but they've replaced the dance floor in the last few years. About 3 or 4 years ago, they've got a nice new dance floor, all nice and clean.
See, will it will have lost its atmosphere because it hasn't got the sticky carpet? No, of course it won't. Yeah, I played the theatre in Nottingham quite a few times. Nottingham's always on the map. The big thing about Nottingham back in the 80s, this is when we were all kind of young, free, and single, was that the fact that there were five girls to every boy in Nottingham, and all the bands used to get very excited by this. not
I don't
not
think
that it
that's
made
no
any
longer the
difference.
case, but it did used to
It made
be.
no difference whatsoever to our pulling power. It was still rejected left, right, and centre. But yeah, that was one of those kind of microwave, poodle in the microwave stories. But it's actually true. It was true at that time.
At that time. I don't think it is now, but it definitely was back then. Now, Rock City is known, they put on their website that they're known as UK's best live venue.
I'm sure that's probably the case. I think places gather atmosphere. It's a bit like ghosts. Everyone says ghosts is just, ghosts are spirits trapped in the walls, whatever. Well, you imagine the spirits that are trapped in there, and there aren't many venues that have been running constantly or consistently since 1980. So yeah, to be in venues like that, because venues like that are the soul, the heart and soul of the music industry.
Yeah,
Without venues like that, and smaller venues as well, small clubs and things, there is nowhere for up and coming artists to cut their teeth.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
that's when you went out and you learned your trade. You did your apprenticeship, going around playing sticky carpeted clubs, and thank heavens for them as well. They're few and far between these days.
Now, Midge, I follow you on Instagram and Twitter and everything, and I've put you a little, I don't know if you can see, a little like coffee
I
cup.
can see that.
You see a
I,
little
I, I
coffee
can.
cup.
Very good. Thank
You
you.
should, yeah, because I noticed that you post a lot of coffee. Now, I was thinking when you come to Nottingham, what's your favourite coffee? And I'll personally go and ask at the local Nero's or Costa if they can deliver it for you.
That's very kind of you. I have to say, I'm a very down market coffee consumer. Not that Costas is down market, but I prefer Costas to some of the other big high street ones. But two of the guys in the band with me, the keyboard player and the bass player, who are a band in their own right, they're doing their own sets prior to mine. They're called the Indie Electric Company, and they are coffee aficionados. So
Oh,
wherever we go in the world, they've already looked up the cool roastery, and they carry this paraphernalia with them, and it looks like Breaking Bad in the dressing room because they've got weights and scales, and just it's got to have the water with the right pH balance, and the beans have to have been grown on the south side of the hill, and it's like, oh my God. And then you taste it and it's foul. So I like down market coffee. I like a cost that's perfect for me.
I will try really hard to arrange it. Now, before I forget, also it's a very extensive tour, isn't it? Lots of dates back to back to back. I'm really intrigued as to whether you have a tour bus, whether you just stay in local hotels, whether you get to go home.
I think it's a bit of all of that. We're fortunate enough to have a tour bus this time, which means that we actually do arrive at the venues early in the morning, which is perfect because it gives me a chance to get out and walk about because it's what I do. I like to go out and wander the back streets and look in estate agent windows and look. I don't know why. It's just one of these weird things. Look in secondhand shops. I get the roots of the place. Get a good feel for the town.
Well, it's just an absolute pleasure to speak to you again. Enjoy your time in Spain. 30th of May, Rock City, Nottingham. Any message for any of the people in Nottingham that have maybe not seen you for years and think, yeah, perhaps it's a good time to come along and see this show?
Well, as I'm still alive, it's probably worth coming to see. That I get two comments usually after a show. One is, "I didn't know you could still sing," and the other is, "I had no idea you played guitar." I used to be in Thin Lizzy. Come on, yeah, come and see it. You might be surprised.